In somewhat of a surprising move, Syracuse has fired head coach Dino. Today, we're taking a look at 10 guys that can replace him and can help elevate this job in the ACC. The first candidate that came to mind with his job is Jamie Chadwell. The reason being is that with Syracuse, you are in a position where you don't have the same luxuries as a lot of teams in the other ACC teams in terms of Florida State. You look at Clemson, Miami, you're not recruiting the same players as those teams. You're also finding that a lot of your players are going to get purged by those other programs, and they are going to try and take the best talent you have. You have to find a way to gain an advantage, whether that is through your offensive scheme or through various different things. You have to essentially find ways to steal wins. I think that Syracuse does a great job of scheduling, and I think that they have been able to find ways to win certain football games. But also, I think that this program, we've seen they can win ten games in a season, but I think consistently you're trying to find ways to confuse the other team. And Jamie Chadwell's system is a perfect system to run that. I think that Syracuse already has the pieces in place too, where Chadwell could come in and almost seamlessly continue this program's success. And I think that you're looking at a guy who is very successful at Coastal Carolina. He's successful at Liberty. His system, the RPO system that he runs offensively, would be a good fit because teams haven't seen that in the ACC. And even if they have seen it, he's proven that in his previous stops that even if you know what's coming, he's still going to be successful. Sean Lewis is going to be on a lot of my lists here because he's just that good. I think what he did at Kent State proves that he is a good coach. He is a good head coach, knows what he's doing, and he has a good offense too. Again, I think for Syracuse, the key is to find a unique system offensively that's going to help you win football games. Sean Lewis is going to play an explosive style of football. He wants to move the ball at a blistering pace, and that's going to help Syracuse against a lot of teams. And in the ACC, there are plenty of games to be won. And if you're able to put up some points on certain teams, I think you're in good hands. Sean Lewis also does a good job of getting the right players to his system. And I think that's another piece that makes him a good fit. Now, this one is probably a little bit out there, but when you're looking at, we talk about a unique system, and one of the dying, I guess, offenses is going to be the triple option. But Troy Calhoun has proven that he can adapt to the times and make his team even better, make his system even better. And Air Force has been a really good team this year. And it's a big reason why they could be good, or he could be good at Syracuse too. Now, he's probably not going to get a lot of Power Five attention, but I think he at least deserves a call to see what the interest is, how he could fit in with Syracuse. Because if you're looking for a unique system, Troy Calhoun's probably on the extreme level of this, but it's definitely something different. A lot of teams don't know how to face it, and Calhoun has proven that he can elevate his program to another level where teams are not only just not used to his system, but he can make a statement with how well his team plays. Now, if you're looking to just keep things kind of the same, maybe tweak a little bit to go more of a spread approach that's maybe a bit more balanced and not run heavy, then I think Alex Atkins is a good option. He also gives you an upgrade on the offensive line. I think that his ability to elevate his players up front and to develop and recruit at a certain level would make Syracuse a contender and an instant upgrade there. So I think that he's someone who's definitely going to get a lot of looks and someone who could, in terms of talent, give this team an upgrade because Syracuse, it's tough to recruit. It's tough to get the guys to come play in New York. But I think a guy like Alex Atkins could show that he knows what he's doing to attract certain players and get them to help Syracuse be even better. Going back to kind of the offensive scheme, getting something a little bit different, something that's going to challenge and definitely test a lot of teams. GJ Kinney out of Texas State. Now, the Texas State momentum has died a little bit over the second half of the season, but Kinney is still someone who is going to get a lot of phone calls. He is going to get a lot of interest from Power Five programs. And I think that he would be very fun at Syracuse. Playing in the dome and playing at that blistering pace, I think gives you a little bit different look of that offense and gives you explosive plays. And if you're getting the right guys in the system with even some of the players they have already on roster, I think Kenny is a good fit. Getting Manny Diaz back into the ACC certainly would be interesting. And I know that he's probably looking for a Power Five head coaching job. It just might not be at the level of Miami. Now, we already know that he took the Temple job before he took the Miami job. So his chance to return to the Northeast could be in the form of a Syracuse head coach. He's done a great job of coaching Penn State's defense. He's a defensive mind, and I think he's learned a thing or two from his time at Miami. He knows what he has to do different, and maybe Syracuse gives him the opportunity to show what he's learned. James Madison head coach Kurt Cignetti has done an incredible job of getting the Dukes to the top of the Sun Belt. Obviously, they sustained their first loss of the season this past weekend, but he is still doing a great job of building that program from the FCS level to the FBS level. And people are noticing, administrations are noticing. And I wouldn't be surprised if Syracuse gives him the phone call to see, hey, can you get us to that next level? Name that's kind of flying under the radar is Minnesota defensive coordinator Joe Rossy. He's done a great job of getting Minnesota to play at a higher level. I think that he gets a kind of overlooked because he's at Minnesota, but he deserves a lot of credit for Minnesota's success. His defenses have been some of the better units in college football, and they just don't get a ton of recognition. You don't get the talent level that certain other programs do. And obviously Minnesota's had some struggles this year, but it's this defense that has played really well, I think, for Minnesota, I think overall consistently. But you look at his track record, he has been a big reason for their success. And I think it's only a matter of time before someone gives a head coaching opportunity to him. Syracuse could be that team. Maybe they're looking for a defensive mind that doesn't cost them a fortune. Maybe they're looking for a defensive mind that can give them a different feel, like give them a different perspective. And Joe Rossy is going to be a first-time head coach. Maybe that's not what Syracuse wants, but if it is, he at least gives them a breath of fresh air. Sticking with the defensive theme, I think that John Summerall is going to get a head coaching job at some point elsewhere other than Troy. And I think it's just like I said, a matter of time. Syracuse could be that fit. I think what he's done is Troy has been incredible. His success leading them to the Sun Belt Championship once again deserves a lot of love, deserves a lot of recognition, and his defenses have been lights out. You look at the amount of talent they've had over the last couple years, even with the talent they lost coming into this year, this is still one of the better defenses in the Sun Belt, and they are a high-flying group. They play with a ton of energy, and that's exactly what Syracuse needs. This program needs some energy. When you fire your coach, you kind of lose a little bit of that energy, and I think that Summerall would bring in some good energy to build this program back up, give them the juice that they need, and get this defense to a level that's respectable in the ACC and helps them win football games. One that's going to probably fly under the radar is Bob Chesney, the Holy Cross head coach, has done an incredible job with that team. And when you look at what he's done, he has only had success at his coaching jobs. At Holy Cross, he's 44-21. At Assumption, a D2 school, he went 44-16. So he is a proven winner, and he's already familiar with the area. If you're looking for a guy that doesn't need much to get acquainted with the coaches in the Northeast, to get used to what it's like to coach up there, this is a guy you could definitely see taking head coaching job. Syracuse would be wise to give him a call to see what his interest is. And when you look at what Holy Cross has done so far against FBS schools, including Boston College, you know that his teams will be competitive. He knows how to elevate his team to another level, and Syracuse would love to have that. Again, this is probably a good fit from someone who is a proven winner looking for another head coaching job. He's a proven winner at multiple different levels, so it's only a matter of time for him to win. And recruiting shouldn't take a step back because he knows who the good players are in this area, and now he actually gets an opportunity to recruit those guys.